How do you know that a vehicle has done Uber? How do you know a vehicle has done Uber? Because every time people go out there to buy vehicles, from the second-hand market especially, people selling those vehicles will tell you this vehicle has never done Uber. This vehicle was for my girlfriend. This vehicle was for another lady who got a visa to the US. This is a vehicle for a guy who got a scholarship to the UK. So they left me with the vehicle to sell. So hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do a video which is actually a reminder, and I do these videos as reminders every time I get a reminder myself from Uber, because I believe that in the next few months and the beginning of next year there will be so many things that are changing in the taxi industry that everybody has to be kept reminded. Me, as I told you, I have all the documents for Uber drivers. So every time there is an update or a reminder, Uber reaches out to me directly in my email. And I feel like, they keep me reminded every time so that I don't forget important stuff. So that's why I have to do some of these videos so many times so that I can also remind you. And one question that someone asked me, Uber, they said that they are going to remove vehicles from their platform. So I'm going just to discuss a few things that are related to the removal of vehicles by Uber from their platform. Exactly what I said at the end of last year, because this communication was sent last time in December 2024. But so many things have evolved, and those are the things that I'm going to discuss with you step by step. Okay, so follow this with me. So the thing we are discussing here is about Uber update of vehicles. Okay, and this is what happened. This update was sent around December 2024. Okay, and they said that at the beginning of 2025 January, only vehicles of 2015 and above are now accepted. Okay, 2015 and above. So 2016, 2017, 2018. They said that in December, let me write here, 2025 deck. They said that any vehicle that is 2013 and earlier will be removed. That's what we are talking about. Whether that vehicle is on Uber already or not, it will be removed. That statement does not make sense. What I mean here is that 2013 vehicles that are already on Uber will be removed. They will not be allowed to operate again in 2025 December 31st. All right. But if you want to get your vehicle into Uber for the very first time, a vehicle that has never been into Uber for the very first time, right now, only vehicles of 2015 and above are being accepted. But if you don't manage to put your vehicle into Uber before this date, they said that come 2026, January 1st, Uber will only accept 2016 cars and above. Vehicles that are joining Uber for the very, very first time. You get my point? Because why am I insisting on this? Because every time people go out there to buy vehicles, from the second-hand market especially, people selling those vehicles will tell you this vehicle has never done Uber. This vehicle was for my girlfriend. This vehicle was for another lady who got a visa to the US. This is a vehicle for a guy who got a scholarship to the UK. So they left me with the vehicle to sell. So this vehicle has never done Uber. Okay? In a way, that is seen as a positive, selling point, because a vehicle that has done Uber literally has done quite a lot. So you don't want to buy a vehicle that has been on Uber platform for many years, because it has been on the road, for so many kilometers, and the rate of its wear and tear is actually very high. But now, the fact that that vehicle has never been on Uber, it is coming in here as a disadvantage. Because what is Uber saying? Uber is saying that if your vehicle is of 2015 and before, and it has never been into Uber, a 2014 vehicle that has never been into Uber, 2013 vehicle that has never been into Uber, 2012 vehicle that has never been into Uber can actually not join Uber anymore. So if you buy a vehicle with the intention of putting it into Uber and the one selling it to you is telling you it has never done Uber, then you should run away, because it will never do Uber again. You get my point? So that is the important information. And they said this will continue. So in January 1st, 2027, they will only accept 2017 vehicles, and so on and so forth. In short, what Uber is saying is that for the first time, okay, let me just write it in simpler. For the first time joiners, they want vehicles that are 10 years or less. Okay? They want vehicles that are 10 years or less. And once that vehicle enters into Uber platform, it will be removed, okay, from the communication once it is 12 years old. Okay? So meaning that if you buy vehicles that are exactly 10 years today, you will only have 2 years to operate. So the advantage that people need to take here is that I'm looking for my something to wrap, but no problem, I can just use my hand. The advantage that people are taking here is that today in Kenya, we are buying 2018 vehicles. Okay? So 2018 vehicles are just 8 years old. All right. So if you put your 2018 vehicle into Uber today, then it will operate for 4 years. Okay? So if you go into any car yard today or a showroom and find that there is a Nissan March of 2016 that has not been sold, an Alto that has not been sold, and you buy it today, okay, so it simply means that you will only have around 3 years or 2.5 years to operate that vehicle. So you should target, if you are buying a new vehicle from the showroom, you should target the newest year of manufacture so that you can have more years with Uber. Okay? And here we are discussing Uber, not because it is the most important ride-hailing application, but it gives you more benefits to have more applications than not having one. Drivers who have Bolt, Uber, Litrocab, and Faras, all of them, they have more advantage than a driver who does not have one of those. So if you are buying from the second-hand market, make sure that you buy a vehicle that is 2015 year of manufacture and above, so that at least it can be accepted. But just know it will do for like 1 year. No, it will just do for 2 years before it gets removed. If you are buying from the showroom, buy the newest year of manufacture possible. But there is this last question that people have asked me. Okay, you are saying that when I go out there to buy a vehicle, people will tell me that it has not done Uber. So Uber or not, how do you know that a vehicle has done Uber? How do you know a vehicle has done Uber? I give you a moment to reflect on that. How do you know a vehicle has done Uber? When you go out there and people tell you this vehicle has never done Uber, it was for my sister, it was for my wife, it was for my nephew who went to the UK. There are two ways for people to know that a vehicle has done Uber or not. Okay? Number one is what I call the mileage logic. Sawa. The mileage logic is this one. A vehicle that does Uber will normally do around I would say 40 to 60k kilometers per year. Okay, 40 to 60,000 kilometers per year. So let us work with 50,000 kilometers. How will you know that a vehicle has done Uber? You go to the logbook, you take the chassis number, you go online to the Japan Quality Inspection Services. There is an online service. You input the chassis number, and there you will get the mileage at the time of import. All right, let us assume that vehicle was imported at a mileage of 100k in DEC 2023. All right, if it was imported at 100k in December 2023, and right now we are in mid 2025, that vehicle should have done, if it is an Uber vehicle, it will be around 100 plus 75 kilometers. So that vehicle will be around 170k kilometers. So for every year from the time of importation, you should add 50,000 kilometers. If you see that vehicle is doing within that range, no, it is an Uber vehicle. Privately used vehicles, they normally do 10 to 15, I would say 10 to 15 kilometers, kilometers, 10 to 15,000 kilometers per year. That is what privately used vehicles do. But there are those that will exceed, but anything below 20 per year, you can believe into the narrative that that vehicle has not done Uber. So that is what I call the mileage logic. But sometimes if you have people transporting a vehicle that has been used for business, or always traveling to maybe Nyeri, to Nairobi, Nakuru, it might confuse you a bit, because it might hit the same mileage as an Uber driver, but it was actually being used for business. The second, this is what I call the confirmatory. People who have done confirmatory, how do you write confirmatory? People who have done statistics, you know what is called the confirmatory test. You have done all your assumptions, you are doing something to confirm whether your assumptions are true. There is something called Auto Express Service Center. So Auto Express Service Center, they have partnership with Uber in Kenya to offer discounts to any vehicle that is registered under Uber. So once your vehicle is registered under Uber, Uber will share the information of your car with Auto Express. So whenever I walk into Auto Express for service, I tell them that I have brought my vehicle for service and it is an Uber vehicle. I give them my number plates. For example, KCX229W. They will feed it into their system and it will pop up as a registered vehicle by Uber. If they don't find the number plate of my vehicle, it is because it is not on Uber platform, and they never delete the database. Even vehicles that have been there since 2018, they are still within the database of Auto Express. So what can you do? If someone is selling you a vehicle and telling you it has never done Uber, take the number plate of that vehicle, just note it, just masquerade as the owner, go to Auto Express and tell them, I'm just checking the last time I did the service here, so because I need to plan my next service. That is called mystery shopping. All right, tell them I want to know when is my next service. Okay, or tell them you want to know when you did your last service. You give them the number plate of the guy selling the vehicle to you. He will key in into their system. If he tells you, okay, the last time you did service here was 3 years ago, there you will have it. You will know that this vehicle has done Uber at some point. If he tells you that this vehicle is not in our system, no, it has never done Uber. So for me, at least that is what I call confirmatory test. But again, I think you need also to tell the owner of the vehicle that you are going to conduct a due diligence with Auto Express, so that you are not caught playing some data games and assuming that the vehicle is yours while it is not. So for me, that is how I advise you to know whether a vehicle has done Uber or not. And hope you guys have learned a thing. And if you have any questions, let me know. Cheers and bye for now.